This is Sean with Voices Live On. We're here at the Meridian restaurant doing Saving Stories at the Meridian, and we have a woman that owns a very long-lasting jewelry store in the area on Illinois, which is Dana Friedman. Dana, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Sean. Thank you, and thanks for having me here today.
So the store itself was originally started by Gary Thrapp, and
Yes.
that was back in 1984.
1984, yes.
1984.
Yes,
So
1984.
how did you even get connected to start working there 25 years ago from now?
Right, yes. So I have been in the business since 1991, and I met Gary through someone on the wholesale line who introduced me to work at Thrapp's, and it was such a privilege in the Meridian, Kessler, Butler, Tarkington area. I was like, oh, wow, now I'm in like the big leagues. So coming from Cicero, Indiana, of which I'm still up north, down in working in this area, which I love and admire so much, I was very blessed to get the opportunity. So that was in 1999 when I was in my 20s.
So were you already working with any jewelers? Or
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the time I was working at a place at Keystone of the Crossing.
What was that
Not
called?
in the mall, but on 86th Street, where the Jewelers Row, we call it, in Indianapolis.
What was it called in Keystone?
Certainly, Aaron Stam Jewelers. And
Okay.
I worked at the M. Stevens location.
So when you started working, what were you were you just in sales, or what did you go into from the beginning?
Just in sales. Yep. He had me in sales, and I got to learn about the estate pieces because he's a history major. So he taught me a lot about the history of jewelry, which I love, and we still carry on the tradition of carrying estate pieces in the store, which I'm a big fan.
So how would you describe working with Gary and just kind of his personality?
Very knowledgeable, very smart, been in the business for a long time, very passionate about the pieces and the history of the pieces, which then I learned. I was always about the new and the modern, and I still have a little bit of that with me, but definitely learned about the history of the jewelry, it's important. They don't make jewelry like they used to.
Now, you changed the name, and would you like to explain how you picked the name?
Certainly. So we came up with that name because we were going to open a second location in Broad Ripple, and it was going to be a smaller location of Thrapp, so it was going to be called Petitie. And if you know me and you see me, I'm not very tall. So we came up with that name way prior to him retiring, and it was going to be a smaller, more boutique atmosphere with, I wouldn't say less expensive things, but just a nice variety of things. I think one thing that I have tried to do as a buyer of Thrapp's and now launched into the new store, Petitie Jeweler, is get a wide range. What we fight against is, oh, my parents shop there. Oh, I can't shop there. It's too expensive to shop there when it was Thrapp. So we were going to do the boutique called Petitie Jewelers to have just more fashion forward pieces and a lot of the things that I'm doing now as Petitie, but in the Thrapp's location. So we kept that name because I'm a Friedman, my husband's Lindenberg, so that would have been confusing to the audience. And we spoke with a brand specialist, and it has the same amount of initials, it's the same block, style, the font's the same.
Was it going to fit on the front of the building just fine?
It's going to fit on the front of the building just fine. So it just made sense to the viewers and to the consumer. So.
And you said your husband, Scott, that he was in commercial real estate?
He is, yep. He's in commercial real estate. He has the building at 59 and College right next to Ambrosia, the bank building, the Real Contemporary building.
Right.
So he does a lot of commercial
So how did you guys
estate.
originally meet?
So that's a good story. We met at a party in Meridian, Kessler. It's a party that he's always gone to and I've always gone to. And we met in 2015. No, excuse me. Back up, 2005, and then we got married in 10. And actually, something that you did not know, Sean, was our dinner before our wedding was right here in the Meridian.
Was it upstairs here in this room?
No, so we happened to get married the day that Butler played Duke in 2010, April 5th. And we had dinner here, and then we went to the game after the wedding.
That's beautiful. Okay, so there's a lot of people that come in for engagements.
Yes.
How did he propose?
We were out in, gosh, that's a good question. This was a long time ago. We were out in Sun Valley, and he proposed at a restaurant a restaurant very similar to this, very, rustic and cottage-like and very at Western. That's why it made sense to have our reception here. And we were going to the game downtown. My husband was a collegiate athlete at Butler. And so
What sport?
He ran track and high hurdles.
Okay.
And once the media found out that a Butler graduate was getting married the day Butler was playing Duke in 2010, we were all over the media. It's a cute story. They filmed us downtown and they filmed us at Butler. So it's
now, did you have yours custom designed and you had it in your head forever and ever because you've worked around jewelry forever? And you're like, I have this. It's never gotten out of my head, and I had to have exactly what that idea was.
Those that know me know that I like change a lot. So I am probably now on my 10th engagement ring because I tend to, same husband, I tend to like change with the trend. So we recently sold my center diamond not too long ago. So I'm in the process of searching for a new earth created diamond.
I'm sure you're going to be able to find a good deal.
I think I know a place.
Okay, so basically you deal with a lot of different, so you do help a lot of different causes in the community. I know you mentioned Burbuff and Joy's House and different schools in Riley. Mm-hmm. So what are the things you do to help the organizations when they call on you?
Good question. So we do a lot of gift certificates. Any school around the city, around our area that comes in for a donation for their school, we definitely donate that to that. And we charge for the batteries, for watch batteries, which we used to just take donations, but we cash donations like in a little till, but we decided we're charging. That way those funds specifically go to all the donations at especially all the schools around here.
Okay.
So we're a big proponent of Joy's House.
So obviously people come in for engagement needs, for anniversaries and birthdays, and for fashion and whatnot. Mm-hmm. What are some of the, like when they come in, what are some of the first questions? Let's say somebody is shopping for an engagement ring. What are some of the base questions that people always kind of have that they're addressing?
So now we have something interesting going on in our industry. I don't know if you've heard of this, but a lot of the diamonds are being created in a lab. So now it is about lab diamonds versus earth. Very, very, and that's why I had mentioned that I'll be scouring for an earth estate diamond for myself. But it's a big deal right now in our industry, and we sell a lot. We sell both, but we've sold a lot of lab created. So that's probably the biggest question we have, like explaining the difference between lab and earth. It's still 100% diamond. It's just been created in a lab, so the process has been sped up. And they're a lot less expensive. So
like, can you say, like, for example, if earth was 10 grand, lab would be
1,500 to 2,000.
Oh my, really?
Big difference. They started out a lot more expensive, but now more companies and manufacturers are manufacturing them.
So how are they physically doing that? How are they creating the shape? What is it made out of?
By pressure. It's still 100% carbon, so it's technically a diamond. It's just compressed in chambers and. Yeah.
That's
it's crazy.
That is
Technology is crazy.
So, when they come in, what's kind of the, I guess, time process from when somebody says, I'd like you to create this custom piece for my engagement ring or whatever?
So custom's typically 4 to 6 weeks. But we have a jeweler on site. We have 2 jewelers, and they're both fantastic. We're all female in the store. So our craftsman is even a female. And our studio manager is a female. The only male that we have working in the store is Burkhart, which he's a fan favorite. So, yeah.
Now, you also mentioned something, and you can show off your lobes here at this point, that you have multiple piercings, and you have piercing parties.
We do. We have piercing parties. So this started right after COVID. So the New York Times came out with this wonderful article that definitely helped us, and it became the midlife crisis for women. So instead of going and buying fancy cars or going to cigar bars, women are getting pierced. And we do the lobes only, no cartilage, no body parts. And it's just really fun. I have 10 now, and it's just a good way to dress up.
You have 5 and 5?
5 and 5. Mm-hmm. It's a good way to dress up.
Is it usually balanced? Do people usually want it where?
So typically people wear asymmetrical. So we wear just different shapes and colors and. Mm-hmm.
So is there, and this is me being a novice that doesn't have any piercings, but is there any concern that you might hit something as far as they're going through?
So that is another good question. We have a professional piercer that comes in that's been doing it for years, and he wins piercing contests. So Jimmy, he's like family now. So we do it 4 times a year, about once a quarter. Every now and again, we'll sneak in a 5th piercing party because they are been so very popular. And Jimmy's like family to us now. He loves coming in the store. He would be our second guy that works with us. And it's fun. Like we book up every 15 minutes, and we're usually booked from 10 until 4:45, and we do piercings. And you buy the earring and you get the piercing.
Do people get multiple when they're sitting?
Mm-hmm, they do.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So they pick out the earrings and we pierce, and we send them home with a care card and instructions and a little dial soap, because that's what you clean them with. I just got a new one last month.
So another type of party is a trunk party. Once you talk about your trunk parties.
Let's talk about trunk show. So it's real interesting. No, we don't pull up our car and bring out the trunk and sell it on the parking lot, but that could be a fun concept. We have designers that come in and they bring what they call trunk, and it's I'm sure it's derivative of something like from a long time ago, but they bring in their entire collection. So we carry a lot of different artisans, and we may only have, let's say, 15 to 20 SKUs, but the artisan will have hundreds of SKUs, and then she'll bring in her entire collection to show off to the collectors and the people that have already purchased her piece or his pieces. So it's really fun. Yeah, they get to meet the artisans, or sometimes it's the rep that comes.
So I've got a pretty unique question that common person might think about or might not. So you've got levels of types of jewels that are most purchased. Diamonds being here, and then rubies or blah, 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 blah. Like, is there a way to kind of rank what are the most popular to like top 3 to top 5 popular jewels, or more than that people amethyst and
so
blah, blah, blah?
That's a good question. We, as much as fashion forward as I say we sell a lot of core jewelry, and core jewelry is your tennis bracelets, diamond studs, diamond hoops, diamond, like in yellow gold or white gold, diamond necklaces. So during COVID, we sold a lot of tennis bracelets. And then after everybody got their tennis bracelet, we sell a lot of diamond necklaces. And they're diamond Riviera necklaces is what they're called.
Okay.
Like a river of diamonds on the neck.
Okay.
So, and it's a way, like before when we sold them, we maybe would sell 1 or 2 a year. But now they're making them in such different sizes and varieties in yellow gold. So it's more of a everyday, less dressy, more fashion. So you'll see like one on my neck and one as a regular necklace. So often, we sell multiples too. Like some women have 2 and 3 of them that they layer in.
So as far as like the gems themselves, as popularity of types of gems, how would you kind of rank that, rubies are here and
so your more precious
and
are the most popular. So that's the ruby, the sapphire, and the emerald.
Okay.
And then the semi-precious, topaz, garnet, amethyst are the second most popular.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the more unique cases that people have maybe brought in a state piece or something historic that they wanted to preserve or clean, enhance, modify? Like what are some of the ones just over the years that you've worked on that were just very unique asks and very unique creations afterwards? What stand out?
So we've taken a lot of brooches, because even though they're trending back today, and especially in the male audience, we've taken a lot of brooches and just clipped off the pin and clutch and put them on silk straps or put them on long necklaces. So then you're wearing that like Art Deco, really pretty diamond and platinum piece, but it's not on a lapel or on a coat. It can be worn daily, like on a necklace or on a bracelet. So we've done several of those pieces. Mm-hmm. And we've pulled diamonds out of some old antique watches, and now I've made like ear climbers or some diamond hoops. Again, more of that classic core or diamond line bracelets. But I've made also a lot of climbers, because as we've pierced clients, we like to end the earring in a climber.
Okay.
Up the ear.
So when you took it over, what do you think the guest, I know you had to know this just because of acquiring a business, of how many clients were there at that point? Do you happen to remember? Like he had maybe 10,000?
10,000.
Like
I would say, let's say we retained 6,000, if you will.
Okay.
And again, we're more of a petite store.
Right.
And we don't have the 4 jewelers. We have the 2 jewelers. So we're scaled nicely for being a petite jewelry, a jewelry store. So, yeah.
And what do you think are some of the more unique asks that people have called in to see if you can do? Is that?
Gosh, our jeweler is really, really talented. She's a hand fabricator, and she came from Petitie's downtown is where she first started. And if you know anything about this city, like Petie's in the 70s and 80s, he was the jeweler to make and platinum pieces. And that's where our jeweler came from, her beginnings. So she's really, really, really talented. So we've done a lot of hand fabrication work, which isn't done a lot anymore. It's an old technique.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do that. And then the CAD/CAM system is more of the new. That's a newer technique. We're equipped to do that. And we carve waxes and we cast. So
Cartier, Tiffany's are different brands that you've worked with, or some of the other brands.
So and yeah, a good question. I see where you're going with this. If somebody brings in a piece that has a nice provenance and a maker's mark, we really try to encourage not to tear those apart, and to keep those in the family, and so they can travel on down the line, because it's really important to not break out a piece that has a maker's mark, such as the ones we mentioned.
And what other, I guess, major brands do you work with as far as that are sold there?
So we carry a lot of boutique brands like Erica Molinari, Jude Francis, 3 Stories. We carry, our core line is Benny Sofer. We carry Italian line Benny Sofer. A lot of really small boutique one-on-one where we're working with the designer and the artisan instead of the David Nurman of the world, which is great. And we used to carry it, and I used to sell a lot of it back in the day. We try to stick with more of the smaller niche boutique artisans. Yeah.
And you also said something I found pretty interesting, that, the online growth of jewelry sales really kind of sparked in 2010 to 2012. And a lot of people will find examples online then to come in and have you guys create. Is that accurate?
Yes. Typically, the groom has a picture of exactly what she would like, and that's found online. They do a lot of their due diligence on the internet and then come in to us, and we provide either the lab or the earth grown, and either custom made or the bridal brands that we carry, like Martin Flyer, Erica Winters. We have a really beautiful Megan Thorne. No one else in the city. We try to carry them exclusively, so you can't get them anywhere else in the city or even in the state.
So I'm assuming you've got between 25 and 30 years in the industry.
That is correct. Yes.
So why do you love it? You personally, what do you love about it?
I love the connection with the people, and that's why I stayed in it. I loved getting to know the bride and groom when doing the engagement ring and learning about their story and the connection and the love that they had for each other. And yeah, it was just beautiful. And that's what kept me in it. It's romantic. It's beautiful stories. You're dealing with people at the very happiest time in their life, in the very beginning, and raw and innocent. And then you hope to carry on. I have people that call me from 20 years ago. I've done their second and third diamond. Wow. 20 and 30 years. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of.
What is your address and website?
So address 5609 North Illinois, Indianapolis 46208, and the website. Petitie.com.
And you're in between which 2 stores that they can reference when they're on the strip?
Amazing Barbie at B Boutique, and the newer J. McLaughlin, which is a cool clothier. And
your hours, you're basically 10 to 6, Monday through Friday, Saturday 10 to 5, and not open on Sundays.
That is, yes, our day of rest.
That's great. Well, I thank you for coming in today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people when they come in, what they could expect and maybe dealing with you?
We have an amazing staff, and they're going to be greeted, and we have 5-star reviews, and it's because of our staff, and they will be treated like no other. Yeah,
that's beautiful. Well, Dana, thank you very much for coming in and
having me.
Contributing to Saving Stories here at the Meridian. And what do you think about the concept of being able to share the stories of the businesses and people?
Oh, I love it. And the community.
Legends of the area.
Yeah, it's such a historical spot. And yeah, I think it's amazing. And of course, my heart is here at the Meridian.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming in, and thank you for sharing your story.